That's a really good
Executive International Board. Oh, 89. 89. Before us today, we have a very difficult responsibility, and I hope that the candidates will have your respect throughout the entire election. And I am honored right now to introduce to you my Executive Vice President for a couple of minutes, I guess. Oh, we're really like...
Solid point. That point is that the qualification to be international president is not just to have held many positions of leadership, even if he is president of the Niagara region, but to have the ability to command the respect of USYers and utilize this respect to make his year awesome. We need a president who is not only charismatic and speaks forcefully, but is an example to each and every one of us of a true USYer, loving Ruach, loving Israel, and most importantly, loving Judaism. And guess what? This sounds just like someone I know very well. My point is that I, Shira Epstein, president of Many Region, would take pride in presenting to you your next international president, USY.
Are there any more nominations for the office of president? He accepted. David Tessler?
When you think of a true leader, the first word that comes to mind is experience. To guide effectively, a person must be able to place themselves in the shoes of others. As a chapter president, this candidate more than tripled his chapter's membership. This past year, not only did he serve as Int'l's regional president, but he was also the editor of the Heschel Herald as this year's International Religion Education Co-Chairman. Having worked on every level of leadership, he knows what people want. If experience is what you want, experience is what you'll get. Ladies and gentlemen of United Synagogue Youth, it is with great pride that I present to you your next international president, David Bianco.
As I got closer, the voice became more clear. I now distinctly heard Andriy Polnovic, age 9, Alexei Helmer, age 6, Benjamin Weiss, age 14. Then in Hebrew, Russian, German, Polish, name after name, over and over again. When I finally entered the room from which the voices came, I opened my eyes to find that I was completely surrounded by thousands upon thousands of points of light, of candles, all of it lit the otherwise dark room. The sheer numbers of them attempted to express how many dreams were lost, how many hopes were crushed, and how many lives were extinguished. The flames seemed alive as they danced and swayed just beyond reach. The warmth that emanated from them almost made me forget that each candle represented a lost child martyred by the Nazis. The candles lined the walls, the ceiling, the floor, as well as a large set pillar in the center of the room. As I walked out, I was greeted by a large inscription that read, "This monument commemorates all the children that were killed by the Nazis in World War II. In the room you have just left, only 5 candles were lit." That made an impression. To realize that each spark of life, each dream embodied in each one of those flames was only a reflection, only an image, untouchable and unfeeling, of all the souls that are now gone. Just as each reflection represents a spirit, a spark, a soul that was. Each one of us represents not only those lost souls, but also what sparks within us now. Each one of us represents the future, where all that we do and all that we are will show itself to reveal the finished product of our hopes, aspirations, and dreams. But you have to be willing to dream, and to pull from those dreams the inspiration that is the light to kindle your flame. For it is that light that must burn within your heart and shine in your soul. It is that light that will guide you down the path of life, and no matter how dark that path becomes, the flame that will light the way. In Judaism especially, there are several kinds of light that guide us. The Torah, mitzvot, gemilut chasidim, a true nefesh, a soul. Out of all these though, the soul is potentially the most powerful, because within it is the power of each of the others. It is where all dreams are found. It is where yourself is. It is where the warmth of love and friendship come from. It is the driving force behind what we believe in. It influences our decisions and our actions. It tells us what kind of person to be. In short, it is what we are. Jewish teenagers, the future of our movement, instilled with all the things that we gain out of our USY experience. We are the ones. We are the ones who must light the candles and fuel the flames that connect us with our brethren in Russia, Iran, Ethiopia, and throughout the diaspora, and the flames that ignite our passion for Eretz Israel. This flame commands a lot of power, for it tells us how to act upon our dreams. Dreams that shape us and that are shaped by us. It tells us which way to turn and in what direction to look in order to improve ourselves. It inspires us to learn more and to teach more. But most importantly, it gives us the means by which to build for the future and make it brighter. The problem we encounter is finding the spark to light this flame, to kindle our hearts, to help us on our way. Fortunately for us, the source for this spark is not unobtainable, nor is it reserved for the hands of a chosen few. The source for this spark is right here in this very room. You can reach it, you can touch it, you can light your soul through it. USY. It provides us with the fuel needed to spark our souls. You can feel that spark when you lead services for the elderly, and you can see that spark in the glowing faces after you're done. You can see that spark when you march with Soviet Jewry, when you wear a Soviet Jewry bracelet. And you can feel it when you find out the person on your bracelet has been allowed to emigrate to Israel. It's everywhere when you stand up with others to teach them a song and feel the ruach when the entire group is singing together. But this is only half of it. Once you've been enlightened by this fire, you must share it. You must share the experience, the motion.
Candidate for the office of President, David Vito.
I'm sure many of you have heard the old Talmudic story about the man who visits the great Rabbi Hillel and demands of him, "Teach me the entire Torah while I stand on one foot." Rabbi Hillel doesn't laugh. Rabbi Hillel doesn't mock. Rabbi Hillel simply summarizes all of Judaism in one basic statement as he responds, "Don't do to other people what you don't want done to you." The rest is commentary. Go, requires. And study means we should broaden our programs to include a Jewish atmosphere as well. I think Rabbi Hillel's challenge suggests many programs with a balance between the go and the study. It suggests planning social programs with a Jewish twist, making ordinary social programs into complete USY events by adding a Jewish theme, Havdalah, or a Devar Torah. Go and study means that priority one must be membership, because without members we won't go anywhere, we won't study anything. It suggests expanding the chauffeur squads of last year to a whole range of mitzvah squads, so that USYers can volunteer together to build sukkahs or visit the sick, as well as blow shofar. And finally, most importantly, go and study means that USY's motto for the upcoming year ought to be, remember the member. Let's focus our attention on our individual members, letting them know what a crucial part of USY they really are. The international, regional, and especially chapter-level programs should aim towards sharing the love of USY we have expressed this week with each USY member. From Michigan to Manhattan to Miami, from Sacramento to Syracuse to San Antonio. USY has incredible potential to do many things. With the right programs, we can bring Jewish teens together to spark lifelong memories. With the right attitude, we can all grow together with Judaism as our guide. With the right leadership, we can enjoy both outstanding innovations and inspiring programs. I'd like to be international president to teach, sharing my knowledge of Judaism, my leadership skills, and my love of this organization with USYers wherever I go. I hope to be international president to inspire, encouraging USYers to try new mitzvot, to learn more about their heritage and care more about their movement. And I want to be international president to guide, reaching ever higher with our organization's programs, membership, and ruach. The whole of Judaism, while standing on one foot, was a heavy request for the man to make. But Rabbi Hillel, in his wisdom, responded with a simple answer. Today, I come before you, the convention body, with another heavy request. Give me the chance to share my enthusiasm, my knowledge, my experience, and my love with USYers wherever I go. Because together, we can help USYers throughout North America participate in our organization while standing on both feet. Go and study. Thank you.
USYers, before I announce your new president, I would like to tell you about a decision that I made about the election process, a slight change from the past few years. I have chaired many elections in my past years in USY, and I have decided that as this is my last time to do so, I'd like to share it with my executive board. And so I will be passing over the gavel to each respective board member for each of their respective positions, and in a way to honor them and to honor all the work that they put in this year. And okay, for the moment you've been waiting for. Tonight. Okay. It is my distinct pleasure to
forward to a great year. There's some people that I'd like to thank, and I'll try to do this as quickly as I can. First of all, Bobby Berenbaum convinced me to run, and he's Rememsa. Dave Tessler, whose nomination speech was very kind, and I appreciate it. All my friends. And Mike and Warren and Alana, Eddie, Jessica, Jeff, John, and Dina. Marty. But especially, I'm Sarisian USY. I want to thank the two people that I've grown closest to on the international level, working with them over the past year. Eric Grossman and Mark Seymour. There's something else I'd like to say, and I'd like you guys to listen up. Okay, to those of you who supported me, I honestly thank you. But also to those of you who did not, I really am speaking from the bottom of my heart when I say I look forward to working with you next year, and I want to be your president too. Finally, I want to say a few words about Ofer Ayala. Ofer, I've grown to admire and respect a lot. He's a true leader, he's a mensch, and I really do admire him. And I just want to say that. I like him. Im ena nili mili, ufsha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, v'im lo achshav eimatai. Na'aseh v'nishma. Go and study.
Hillary has not yet officially handed over the gavel to me, so it is my distinct pleasure to nominate Miss Hillary Buff I recognize myself, to the position of International Honorary President 1989. Is there any second? We recognize all the seconds. I guess, Hillary, do you accept by a vote of acclamation? Let's have a vote of acclamation. All those in favor of having Hillary Buff International Honorary President 1989, raise your hands. Aye? Nay? Jules doesn't vote. Thank goodness. Abstentions, corrections, emendations, etc. All right. She has now officially handed it over to me. Are there any nominations for the position of Executive Vice President? Can't see the light. The floor recognizes Michael Colbert. The floor recognizes... The chair recognizes Michael Colbert.
Madam President, I'm Michael Kelbert, President of Hageshire Region. As they say in the Hyundai commercial, I have 30 seconds of common sense. My candidate is the state of vice president. He was the president of the most approved chapter, a pilgrim of Israel, Poland, professional usher, high holiday services, and even a Kedima treasurer. Yes, these are all well-rounded attributes that are needed for a successful executive vice president. Look, through the years there have been many famous Bernsteins. Leonard Bernstein, even the Bernstein Bears. Well, I have one more. The one, the only, the big man of Choosy Region, the only man in the world who can say all 41 presidents in order in less than 12 seconds. International USY's next Executive Vice President of the year 1989, Eddie Bernstein.
Eddie Bernstein.
About 12 years ago, before I entered grade school, I had a favorite TV show that would air on ABC every Sunday night, which I would refuse to miss. The show, The $6 Million Man, starring Lee Majors. I remember in the very first episode, Steve Austin, after obtaining and discovering his great bionic powers, was sent off on his first mission to fight injustice in the world. The enemy wasn't Bigfoot or the abominable snowman of future episodes. Rather, it was a group of fanatic Arab terrorists in Israel who were on a destructive and killing rampage. Steve Austin helped the Israeli Defense Force crush the uprising, and he didn't even have to fire a single bullet. As a young boy, I always knew that in the distant land was Israel, a Jewish state, but the importance of the security of Israel did not occur to me till that Sunday night. My favorite boyhood superhero was a friend of Israel. This has had a lasting impact on me to this day. Since I joined USY, I've become very dedicated to the cause of Israel awareness throughout our organization. This is because I see the growing need these days for USYers and all Jews to become better acquainted with the state of Israel and for what it stands. This is already being carried out successfully by the fine core group Chalutzim, which has grown in leaps and bounds in both membership and achievements in just over a year. It is the responsibility of the Chalutzim Chaverim, under the direction of the Executive Vice President and the Israel Awareness Committee, to go to the members of USY, not only to tell them about Israel, but inspire them to learn more by going on Israel Pilgrimage, USY High, or Nativ. As Executive Vice President, I will not be asking USYers to be like Steve Austin and jump from helicopters into the Negev, although that sounds quite adventuresome. Rather, I will be asking USYers to descend the steps of an Int'l plane in Israel. It is the responsibility of USY as a Zionist organization to educate its members of Israeli current affairs so that it can become even more committed to the causes of Zionism. As the next Executive Vice President, I'm looking forward to continuing the achievements of the past administrations in Israel awareness, and I'm looking forward to helping the new President carry out his agenda. So when you consider the future of Israel awareness in USY, just remember two more words: Eddie Bernstein. Toda Rabah.
Is there a motion for a vote of acclamation? The floor recognizes Billy Padras. Is there a second? All those in favor? All those against? Abstentions? I present to you your next Executive Vice President.
when Choosey's encampment the next month. I was an incoming freshman. I got a call from some guy who wanted me to read Torah at Camp Choosey. I remember he stressed the spelling of his last name. S-E-M-E-R. Semer. So, Mark, thank you for that Torah reading and everything else. The next person, when I finally arrived at Camp Choosey, immediately recruited me to write for the regional newspaper. This helped further develop my interest in USY activities, and I owe it to Biff Bestenstein. Thank you to Mike Gilbert for that inspiring speech. And now I get to thank my final person. Over the past year, when he was in his prime, he was often confused by many to be me, while I had the honor of being compared to the likes of him. So, Reuben Lerner, thank you for your patience and understanding. I still don't think I look like you. At all. I'd like to thank the greatest region in the world, Choosey. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you for making it all worthwhile. So, Darabah, God bless you.
I would like to hand over the chair of the elections to Mark Seymour.
Next, Religion Education Vice President, Martin Michaels.
Chair recognizes Jeffrey Shear.
Fellow USYers, close your eyes for a moment and picture the perfect religion education vice president. You should be picturing a man with the confidence, poise, and intellect for this position. A man with the ability and know-how of this vice presidency. But most of all, a man with the dedication that is needed to be our next religion education vice president. Now open your eyes. In a few moments, the man that you were picturing will be standing directly in front of you. Eric Grossman is this dedicated man. International Religion Education Vice President.
Eric, do you accept this nomination? Eric, do you accept this nomination? Are there any other nominations for the office of Religion Education Vice President? Chair recognizes Benji Pollock.
We all agree that the International Religious Education Vice President must have a strong grip on his Judaic background. In addition, the International Relative must be a teacher. He must be able to relate to people. It is not only what he says on the podium that is important, but how he relates to every USYer individually. I, Benjamin Pollock, President of Pinwheel Region USY, am privileged to introduce a USYer who is the most qualified. He is not just a student or a teacher. He is not just a leader. He is a mensch, in the true sense of the word. He will not just teach you, he will take your hand and help you learn. I introduce to you the next International Religious Education Vice President from New England Region, Joshua Bloom.
Religion Education Vice President will be Martin Michaels.
USY, JCY, BBYO. What do they have in common? They're all Jewish youth groups. What, however, makes USY different from all the others? Very simply, USY has a different purpose. Our first priority is to educate, to teach the youth of the conservative movement more about the religion they are a part of. The other youth organizations are just secular organizations. Judaism takes a back seat to having fun. Having fun and the precepts of Judaism each play an important role in USY. USY has a reputation that all you do at keynotes or convention is pray and eat, and pray and eat, do a little bit of learning and pray and eat. On more than one occasion, this reputation has discouraged potential USYers from joining. However, I feel that this is exactly what USY is supposed to be doing. And in addition, I am proud that the organization for which I've worked so hard is actually concerned with religion enough to forsake the other, more social activities. I believe that USY should add an extra, sometimes previously non-existent aspect of religion into the lives of the conservative youth. There is, though, another purpose of USY that cannot perhaps be seen through this veil of religious reputation. That is a socially diverting youth movement in which we can hang out, enjoy ourselves, and meet other Jewish youth. I, as a religious vice president, try to make fellow USYers more comfortable with ritual practices through education while they are having a good time. I've used and will continue to use the many programs available to me through USY. Among these programs are both the Sunday SAT and USY prom graduation campaigns. Another such program is the USY Home Study Program, in which USYers can study whichever different aspects of their Judaism they prefer to study at their own pace. I, if elected, will do my best to keep teaching, keep educating, and keep learning. I will do my utmost to bring a sense of Jewish heritage into the home of every USYer. I plan to continue the same type of work I have undertaken in the METNI region, always incorporating newfound skills and ideals and producing excellent and tangible results. As ritual vice president in METNI, I've tried to bring into every USYer's home a greater insight into Judaism by making them aware of the importance of being Shomer Shabbat and Shomer Kashrut. I believe that we can get a high percentage of people taking their SATs on Sunday or not going to the prom or graduation if it can place with Shabbat or Yom Tov. I sincerely believe that I have done my job well this year. Hesher membership in METNI is increased to an 85 quality members. In summary, the main difference between USY and the other Jewish organizations is that in USY we try to educate our members. We try to give them a sense of Judaism. In short, we try to make them better Jews. As it says in Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, Shlosha she'achlu al shulchan echad, v'lo amru elav divrei Torah ke'elu achlu mizbechei metim, aval shlosha she'achlu al Torah echad v'amru elav divrei Torah k'lo mishpacho shel makom. If three have eaten at the same table and have not spoken words of Torah, it is as if eating of the offerings to the idols. But if the three have eaten at the same table and have spoken words of Torah, as if they have eaten with the Almighty. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what USY is all about. Thank you, and Toda Rabah.
Next candidate to speak for the office of Religion Education Vice President is Eric Grossman.
Why is conservative Judaism the largest movement of Judaism in North America? It is because our parents' generation was looking for a form of Judaism which would allow them to participate in secular society and at the same time remain religious Jews. Conservative Judaism provided that. It was at the right place, at the right time. That is luck, by definition. Fellow USYers, our luck is running out. Why? Why for the because we have not fulfilled the Jewish view of luck. The Hebrew word for luck is mazal. It contains 3 Hebrew letters, mem, zayin, and lamed, each of which stand for a different aspect of the Jewish view of luck. The mem stands for makom, place. Zayin stands for zman, time. And like the secular definition, Jewish luck involves being at the right place at the right time. But Judaism does not stop there. Judaism has the most important aspect, the 3rd letter, the lamed, limud, knowledge and learning. And like the person who applies to a job without qualifications, being at the right place at the right time is worthless if one does not possess the knowledge and education needed to fill the position. Because conservative Judaism has not bothered to emphasize that final aspect, limud, education, but has instead relied on its being at the right place at the right time to grow, conservative Judaism has lost the opportunity to become the true movement of modern Judaism, with its members believing in the precepts of religious observance and critical study, scientific learning and spiritual commitment, tradition, and change. Because conservative Judaism did not educate its members saw none of these precepts and no reason to remain as a part of this movement. I am standing before you today not to prophesize over the destruction of the conservative movement, but to offer you an opportunity to rebuild it, this time using the Jewish definition of mazal. We will begin with time. We stand now at a turning point in the history of our movement. We are no longer part of the previous generation which fled in the face of the bonds of religion and halakha to assimilate into secular society, but instead we stand amidst a generation which is now running towards it. The time is now. It is now that people are looking for a religious expression of Judaism. And if we do not act now by providing conservative education, limud, then people will see no reason to become a part of our movement over any other movement, which will provide them not only with education, but with other dogmas which we know to be harmful to Judaism. But we are still missing one element now, makom, place. If the damage has been done, how do we repair it? Where is the makom, the place to begin the long process of conservative Jewish education? The answer is found in Talmud Brachot. Al tikrei banayach elo bonayach. When you say the word children or youth in Hebrew, we say the word banayach, but the rabbis say no. Change the vowel so that the Hebrew word reads bonayach, your builders. We, the youth, are not just children, but the builders of the future. USY is the place, the makom, to begin educating conservative Jews. The focus of the Reled Committee this year must be to strengthen the movement through education by producing educational material which reflects the values of conservative Judaism. This includes a total revising of the pit stop program in order to make it a moving religious experience. Through learning will also come observance and enjoyment of Judaism, because when people learn that Shabbat is not an ancient festival which has no meaning for us today, and kashrut is not a way to make your body feel better, but is rather a religious significance, then we can increase Shabbat and kashrut observance. When people learn that services can be uplifting, enjoyable, and even humorous, that is when people will be willing to attend religious services. Kohelet said, "L'kol zman, to everything there is a time. The time is now. The place is USY. Let us contribute to the rebirth of conservative Judaism, for as Hillel said, if we are not for ourselves, who will be for us?"
Thank you, Eric. The next candidate to speak for the office of Religion Education Vice President is Joshua Blumenthal.
Imagine understanding tefillot and davening with kavanah. Imagine the powerful sound of voices rising together as one, voices singing Shabbat Mirot. Imagine USYers taking initiative to learn Torah or Jewish heritage or Hebrew. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I began to imagine these dreams while davening amidst 1,000 USYers at International Convention 1985 in Toronto. Judaic doctrine commands us to pray with a minyan, a kehillah, whenever possible. We have all experienced the power, the intensity of the chevra, the community, so we are able to understand its integral role in tefillah. At my first international in '85, I was taken aback by the realization that I was contributing to this kehillah, that I was helping to create a flame so bright that it would take another flood to extinguish it.
I realized that each of us there was and is a part of that flame. The co-op we create through our unity will make our dreams become reality. Through my experience as a two-term New England Region Executive Religion Education Vice President, Regional Spring Convention 86, and International 88 Tefillah Co-Chairman, I know how to coordinate and run services creatively to alleviate boredom. I know how to implement programs to help USYers. I want to affect individual lives personally, not just through mail. And I know how to ignite the spark that is inside each and every USYer. I want to turn you on to Judaism and Torah. I want everyone, from the regional president to the first-year USY member, to learn Judaism and to love learning it. I plan to institute many new programs for both the Kahal and individual to benefit. A mezuzah campaign to bring Judaism into our homes rather than just something we do every other month at a USY Kines. A Dvar Torah bank to be used on tele-USYers and placed in regional publication for every USYer to learn about the weekly Parsha and how it affects our lives as conservative Jews and as people. I will institute Aleph Bet pamphlets, vocabulary and phrases to be used in each region to increase our Hebrew and Judaic vocabularies. I will also implement a creative writing supplement into our services. Writings by USYers about what the prayers mean to them, because the flame burns brighter when the sparks are lit by other USYers. I also plan to utilize the existing programs and resources and to increase their use throughout USY. This includes publishing all existing and non-existing pit stops into one loose leaf volume, establishing a tefillin bank like in New England so that USYers without tefillin may still fulfill the mitzvah, building stronger Shabbat Chavarot programs in the regions and chapters, and improving Heschel programming, thus increasing Heschel membership. Today, and together, we will increase awareness, education, and God willing love of Judaism so that each individual USYer can gain additional spark to make the flame burn brighter. During Havdalah we read, Layehudim haita ora v'simcha v'sason bikar, kain tihya lanu. For the Jews, there was light, gladness, joy, and honor. So may it be for us. We each have the spark inside of us. We must not only let the light of others shine on us, but each and every one of us must contribute to the flame. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope today you'll join me, and USY and the conservative movement will shine on as one. Dara.
Section, write the name of the candidate you feel to be the person best qualified to be our next religion education vice president. The three candidates are Martin Michaels, Eric Grossman, and Joshua Blumenthal. If there are three vote counters, would please go to the back of the room to observe the vote counting. Present to you the 1989 Religion Education Vice President of United Synagogue Youth, Mr. Josh Blumenthal.
No.
New England Region United Synagogue. My parents, my grandparents, my brother, my sister, my daughter, my sister. Charlie Savinor. Joyce Judah. David Ezekiel. All of the literacy staff and kids. Jan Stratton, Barbara Zapmary, and Fred Goldman. Benji Pollock, thank you very much. A couple of other people, Honey Posick, and two more people, Jody Wilgorin, Joe Lynn, thank you. And the last one, and maybe the most important one, because it's because of him that I'm here today, really. He's the one who got me involved in USY. He's the one that dragged me to encampment in 1985, my first regional event. Aaron Michelle, thank you very much. And thank you, USY. Thank you.
Can every USYers room please take your seats? Everyone please find your seats and be quiet. People in the back, please find seats. Can everyone please sit down? Okay, at this point, I'd like to open the floor to nominations for the Office of International Social Action Tikkun Olam Vice President. The chair recognizes Doug Kalish.
Ms. Chairperson, fellow USYers, one of our major tasks as conservative Jews in the world today is to engage in Tikkun Olam, building a better world. USYers do this through a personal commitment of time and energy, and by raising funds for special projects that work towards this goal. As president of Seaboard Region, I've encountered and worked with hundreds of USYers on all levels of our movement. However, there's one special person who has inspired me, not only because of his endless dedication to helping others, but also because of his quest to share this joy with fellow USYers. This unique individual has sincerity, integrity, sensitivity, and motivation that will encourage us to perform these mitzvot and help us reach this goal of perfecting the world. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you the President of Southwest Region USY and our next International Social Action Tikkun Olam Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin Cooper Smith.
Are there any other nominations for the Office of Social Action Tikkun Olam Vice President?
Having spent 6 weeks with Lisa this past summer on USY pilgrimage, we can testify to her sincere kindness, loyal devotion, and the unyielding care she expresses towards all people. Her hardworking attitude and motivation to better our social action to Tikkun Olam program definitely and unquestionably merit your votes. For these reasons, we hereby nominate Lisa Hauser to the office of International Social
For the office of Social Action Tikkun Olam Vice President is Benji Cooper-Smith.
Through the 60s and the present, the younger generation has triumphed one cause, peace. We have marched, fought, and cried. We should have looked into Pirkei Avot for the solution to our quest. In chapter 1, Hillel says, Marbeh tzedakah, marbeh shalom. An increase in tzedakah leads to an increase in peace. It's simple. All we need to do, if we want peace, is increase the tzedakah, meaning the charity, the gemilut chasadim, that we do. We in this room refer to this unique aspect of USY as SEDO, Social Action to Tikkun Olam. I say that it is the most unique for several reasons. Other youth groups have religious programming. Other youth groups have social programming. But no youth group that I know of is responsible for doing even close to as much social action, or giving even half as much tzedakah, charity, as we give in USY. Why? Where does this drive to do gemilut chasadim come from? We can look into the Torah for the answer. In the book of Vayera, Abraham, the first Jew, goes out on a limb for the sake of others. God is planning on destroying the cities of Sodom and Amorah. Not even knowing the people, but for having any other reason, Abraham argues with Hashem, risking his life for the sake of these people. No reason, except that they were his fellow human beings. We, as teenagers who have committed ourselves to Judaism, must follow the example of Abraham, doing acts of loving kindness, giving tzedakah whenever we can, for whoever we can, no matter what, how, or whatever stands in our way. The efforts that we have undertaken in USY have a banner that we should wave proudly. These efforts are important for one reason: they make a difference. Thousands of letters pouring into the Soviet does reach Jews like Yuri Kasharovsky. $200,000 in Tikkun Olam makes a big difference in the lives of the children of Tikkun Ma'on Latinot, in the elderly Yad Kashish, and in the Tikva campus at Machane Ramah. 6 million stamps does tell the world that we mean it when we say never again. Never again will we sit by and watch people suffer while we are able to help, whether it be Soviet Jews, the homeless in America, or even Yad Sarah in Israel. These efforts should and will continue. The role they play in our lives and in the lives of all we touch is vital, but the effectiveness of them, the extent of the Seder that we can do next year, is at stake right now. It is up to you to choose an international Seder Vice President who will bring Seder to the regions, to the chapters, to the individuals, so that Seder becomes a part of each and every one of our everyday lives. In short, a Seder Vice President that cares, who believes that we as change, we can change the world, and I am that person. John Lennon sang the song that has expressed my feelings about social action to Tikkun Olam, Give Peace a Chance. Like Hillel said, if we want that peace, we will have to start by increasing tzedakah. I invite everyone to join with me by pledging to do the Seder that only we as USY are capable of. Then we will be giving peace and thousands of others a chance, and we know that will last. Thank you.
Thanks, Benji. The next candidate for Social Action Tikkun Olam Vice President is Jan Bukowski.
is put up everywhere. Then I think again, and I realize that we are pretty lucky. When this kind of tragedy happens, people are shocked, surprised, and angered. But in the Soviet Union, this happens all too often. A picture comes to mind, a picture of a past motherland. We know of it as Germany. The year is 1938, the night, Kristallnacht. Jewish businesses, homes, synagogues, their lives destroyed. That was their motherland. Let us never forget the Holocaust, and let us never forget that our brethren in the Soviet Union are facing today what many faced 50 years ago. I want to be your next International Social Actions and Tikkun Olam Vice President because raising money for Tikkun Olam and doing social actions work is what I love doing. It's difficult putting into words this love, but my actions speak louder than my words. At last year's convention, you may have seen me selling those little stuffed animals. Dedicating my chofesh, effort and persistence raised $600 to TO. My willingness to donate this time and effort is an example of what I am willing and capable of doing for all of International USY. At every USY event, there should be a fundraiser. Any opportunity we have to raise money for TO should be fully utilized. Just one more dollar may feed one more mouth here in Chicago, in Tel Aviv, or Addis Ababa. In less than a month, we will be inaugurating a new president of the United States. Let's make sure that George Bush knows right from the start that we are going to fight harder than ever for the freedom of our brothers and sisters in the Soviet Union. My friends, we know what silence brings. Another Hitler waiting in the wings. So stand up tall and shout across the sky. They may bring us to our knees, but we will never die. This year, we are going to leave Mother Russia. We have waited far too long. What appears overwhelming to the few becomes a goal easily attainable by the shared efforts of many. $200,000 for Tikkun Olam, 6 million stamps. Dividing these numbers by the 25,000 plus members of USY, they become a manageable reality. I have done so much and worked so hard for my chapter, my division, my region, and international. I am eager to assume the responsibilities of service to the International Board and present myself to you for your consideration, sincerely hoping that you will allow me this honor and privilege. Together, we can do it. Yad b'yad, echad echad, hand in hand, one by one. Thank you.
In a world permeated by despair and conflict, I came to a realization. What a perfect world it would be if we all listened to our kindergarten teachers. Mrs. Ben-Eliyahu didn't know it, and I didn't know it, but she had the answers for everything. World hunger, discrimination, poverty, anti-Semitism, pollution. Life has many lessons and moral of the story experiences. But did you ever stop to think? All we really need to know about how to live, we learned in kindergarten. We grow as people by learning and experiencing new things on a daily basis. But in reality, all we're doing is relearning in new terms what Mrs. Ben-Eliyahu told us when we were 5. I think Robert Fulghum said it best. The things we learn in kindergarten: share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back when you found them, clean up your own mess, say you're sorry when you hurt somebody, live a balanced life, learn some, and think some, and draw, and paint, and sing, and dance, and play, and work every day, some. And when you're going into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and sit together. Take these, rearrange them in sophisticated terms, and you'll get every lesson that you've ever learned. Everything we need to know about how to live life is there. Equality, sensitivity, friendship, and compassion. Think of what a perfect world this would be if we all, the whole world, included everyone when we played hide and go seek,
sorry when they hurt somebody, and to hold hands. Mrs. Beneliahu told us, clean up your own mess. But we said, why do I have to clean up the mess if I wasn't the one who made it in the first place? Maybe so, but as Jews, we have responsibilities to mend, fix, and repair what's broken in the world. Tikkun olam. We have to clean up other people's messes every now and then to improve our lives and the lives of the people around us. Mrs. Beneliahu said to hold hands. We said, but I don't like him, I don't like her. We can't learn to coexist if we don't unify with others. Unify with every nation. Russian, Ethiopian, Israeli, American. Not only yad to yad, hand in hand, but lathe to lathe, heart in heart. Mrs. Beneliahu told us, put things back where you found them. We said, oh, my mom will put it away later. How can we depend on other people to put back the things we moved out of place? Not only should we put things back, but improve upon them. We can't always leave things as they were, because they might either be fair, moral, or humane. By holding hands, we become a driving force in causes such as Soviet Jewry, Many Pennies Project, and Tikkun Olam in general. By playing fair, we become sensitized to any separation or discrimination of people who are different in any way. By sharing, we've helped those who are hungry, without shelter or family. We've extended ourselves, giving our time, energy, and love, the three things we all can spare a bit of. Don't you see? Mrs. Beneliahu was right. What a perfect world this would be if we all listened to our kindergarten teachers. Watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together so we can begin rebuilding the world, one lesson at a time. Sparrow. We now cast your ballot for the Office of Social Action Tikkun Olam Vice President. Please use ballot number 1 on the mint green sheet. The candidates are Lisa Hauser, Jan Bukowski, and Benji Coopersmith. When you've completed your ballots, fold them and hold them up in the air, and the staff will collect them. They prominently display USY and its fantastic achievements in community.
use yesterday as a beginning, so that future articles will not identify our Gmilut Chassadim as unusual and unlikely, but regular, persistent, the very basic standard of who we are. Yasher Koach again, and good luck in the future. Great. If anyone has ballots to be collected, please hold your hands high above your heads with the ballots. Staff, please go and collect the ballots.
I'd now like to open the floor for any nominations for the office of membership and Dima Vice President. The chair recognizes John Feldman.
Madam President, Beth, once in every USYer's time, they come across a person who personifies the word doucement. A person who can not only work on her own, but can inspire others to do the same. A person who on a regular basis goes beyond the call of duty to help fellow USYers and her friends. The facts are clear. Fellow USYers, as a vice president from Far West region, I give you the obvious choice for international membership to DEMA Vice President, Ms. Sari Nicole Rosenfeld.
and used the International Membership Bank to try new things for his chapter. He threw
programs that he knew people would be interested in. By Joey's senior year, he was an executive officer of his region. He kept up with his ideas because he wanted everyone to benefit from everything USY had to offer. I, like Joey, want all your unaffiliated friends to see just what USY has to offer. I want to continue the fine programs that we have in the membership bank, and I want to start new ones. I want all prospective members to be bombarded with information about USY, and I want all new members to have a say in the programming and feel comfortable with it. I will work hard to redo programs such as USY Awareness Week and just one more, so everyone knows about USY, and we can grow little by little and then by leaps and bounds. First chapters, then regions, then internationally. Now, I'd like to go back to my story about Joey. The summer before his senior year, Joey went on USY Israel pilgrimage and made so many new friends. He also found a love for Israel in his heart that continues to grow to this day. If the USYers in Joey's area hadn't sought him out and cared about him, he wouldn't have gotten all he did out of USY and had the chance to share it with others. If you elect me, Sarah Rosenfeld, as your International Membership Kedima Vice President, I will make sure that this care and this love is shown to all prospective members so they join and bring their friends and USY grows to new heights. Toda rabah.
There's a land that I see where the children are free. And I say it ain't far to this land from where we are. Take my hand, come with me, where the children are free. Come with me, take my hand, and we'll live. We'll live where you and me are free to be you and me. USY, a community where everyone is welcome. We are all different. We have different backgrounds, we wear different clothes, and we maintain different beliefs. Each individual enjoys a different aspect of life. The key to stimulating membership throughout USY is to appeal to these interests, giving every Jewish teenager the opportunity to search for new goals through USY. To do so, one needs only to take that small extra step, as we, the leaders of USY, are more than capable. We must give those who enjoy praying the chance to join USY and pray with us. We must give those who enjoy giving tzedakah the chance to join USY and participate in true Tikkun Olam, building a better world. We must give those who, as only outsiders express their love for Israel, the chance to work for the Zionist cause within the movement. Every morning before we recite the Shema, we say, V'havienu l'shalom v'avakun fo ta'aretz. Calls us to return peace from the four corners of the earth. In bringing our different interests together, as if from the four corners of the earth, we form the type of bond in USY that is the epitome of our Judaic heritage. I see a land bright and clear, and the time's coming near when we live in this land, you and me, hand in hand. Take my hand, come along, lend your voice to my song. Come along, take my hand, sing a song. Communication. We cannot succeed in achieving the goal of USY by working alone. A triangle must be created in which the International Membership Vice President, the Regional Membership Vice President, and the Chapter President work closely together to excite outsiders about USY and to keep current members involved. Every boy in this land grows to be his own man. In this land, every girl grows to be her own woman. Take my hand, come with me, where the children are free. Come with me, take my hand, and we'll run. We all grow up, which means we all get stronger. Not stronger in the muscles, but stronger in the heart. As I look back at my 7 years in USY and Kedima, the friends I have made and the people that have influenced me have helped me grow. This feeling of standing unified with my fellow USYers is irreplaceable. I like to think of USY as a lamp. Without a bulb, a lamp doesn't work. Without members, USY won't survive. But as soon as that bulb is placed in the lamp and the switch is turned on, it shines bright, just as every single member does when brought together in USY. There's a land that I see where the children are free, and I say it ain't far to this land from where we are. USY is that land,
and I hope I see you all there. Let us together turn on that light. Thank you.
It is my honor to present to you my successor, your next Social Actions Equivalent Vice President, Benji Cooper-Smith.
So the first thing I want to do is invite everyone to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I want to congratulate everyone who's won so far and really wish luck to everyone who's like having their votes counted right now and who's going to be up for election because it's tough and it really is. I'd like to thank all of my friends, and if I try to list, I think I'd be here till tomorrow. Everyone who helped me and supported me, I really want to thank you all. I want to thank Doug for nominating me and for everything else. I want to thank Beth Neto for really being a dude model forever. I want to thank my regional director for helping me lay down some issues. And I'd like to thank Juan for really helping me out yesterday. I'm looking forward to working with Jules. I never tell them this because I'll get a big head, so I won't.
We still want you in mittens. So we're being selfish, okay? We want you in UCBC also, but since we can't have it. We have him, we can't have it now.
Like Eamon said, USY, we've got the power. Let's do it.
Hermano Hermanesman. Once the people in the back of the room have seated, we'll start the elections for the office of Communications Vice President. So, to use a phrase Mike Blue likes, the staff please help. All right. The floor is now open for the nominations for the office of Communications Vice President. Chair recognizes Mr. Warren Mason.
When I think of a communications vice president, I think of someone who has been dedicated to communications for her entire USY career and has dedicated her future to communications as well. I think of someone who has spent 2 years as regional communications vice president. I think of someone who has used her voice to communicate not only the virtues of USY, but has spoken out against Soviet Jewry and has been a good personal role model in several ways, communicating Judaism and Jewish culture in her way of life. Rachel Miriam Bobrow is that person and more. She is enthusiastic, outgoing, and very friendly. But as an international communications vice president, she needs to be more. She is organized, a very hard worker, and always strives until something is done just right. A communications vice president needs to have that stamina to work until there is no work left. I think Rachel Bobrow is that person. Mr. Communications Vice President and Madam President, it is with great pride that I present to you next International Communications Vice President, Rachel Miriam Bobrow.
Rachel Youssef. Rachel Youssef, please approach the dais. Connecticut, please quiet down. Connecticut, please quiet down. Thank you. The floor is once again open for any more nominations for the office of Communications Vice President. Chair recognizes
Marshal Barbaro from Connecticut.
Bruce Springsteen, the boss, best describes USY for me when he sings, "You can't start a fire without a spark." USY is that spark that begins the burning passion of Judaism in teenagers. USYers have a special flame of Judaism in them that will hopefully grow and be maintained throughout a lifetime. The more USYers into which we instill that flame, the brighter the flicker of light showing the path of Judaism will become. Some people know about the Ramah experience or feeling. Just as I have experienced this, I also feel strongly that there is a USY feeling. It is a feeling of unity and a bond of togetherness, without racism, without prejudice. Ramah provides a bond of friendship and love that is incomparable to any other. Unfortunately, that closeness is only truly apparent for 2 months of the year. We are truly lucky as USYers to not only have the same type of bonds, but that we have the opportunity to share those bonds all year round through Kinasim, day trips, and summer programs. Providing a social background within an educational framework, my only wish is that more Jewish teenagers could experience what we already have. The only way for our goal of increased membership to happen is through positive communicating. One way of positive communication is talking to Jewish friends to let them know about the incredible experiences that are available only through USY. Talking is a good way to encourage a person to attend their first meeting. But don't you think showing someone what USY truly is would be better? Having a tangible method of getting them to come back again is imperative. One very good item that is available is the videotape that's being offered to each and every one at this convention. Through the viewing of this tape, a chapter can actually show a prospective member what USY really is. The fun, the religion, the caring, and the friends, all in equal balance. Perhaps you feel this is too high-tech for USY, but we must progress in the same manner as the rest of civilization. Recently, video technology has been becoming known to be the most successful teacher by appealing not only to the sense of hearing, but also to the sense of sight. Utilizing both senses results in an increased short and long-term memory span. Please allow me to travel a little bit further into the future. I would like to see a video produced by a chapter and regional president, a live program bank that you can help create. Communicating our desires and our proposals to the public must be exciting. We want to get everyone involved. Spotlight USY can show otherwise ordinary Jewish teens that there is time in their lives for USY. By profiling a few USYers, a chapter president can show prospective members how people they never would have realized were in USY, teens just like us. Together, we can communicate to new heights. New communication projects increase our membership, raise our awareness, and awaken all prospective members to USY. By electing me, you are ensuring that you will know what is going on. I care about you, and I will make sure that no one is left behind. Toda Rabah.
Lack of communication. It causes accidents, conflicts, and chaos. Communist and capitalist, Jew and Arab, black and white, we don't effectively communicate with one another. We talk and talk, but we don't speak each other's language. We don't listen hard enough to what the other person said. And in doing so, we cause misunderstandings and a total lack of communication. The story of the Tower of Babel is a simple one. People wanted to share the heavens with God, but God wanted to keep the heavens closed to outsiders. And so, once the people built their tower to a certain height, they could no longer continue. What was the
throughout my USY career, both as Divisional and Regional Communications Vice President and as co-editor of Achshav, USY's international magazine. I understand communication, but most of all, I understand the language of USY. I realize that regions must communicate with each other, that they must share programming ideas and their results. Our 17 regions must unite and strengthen our common language, the language of a united synagogue youth. When he saw the Tower of Babel being built, God exclaimed, "Hen am echad, v'safa achat b'kulam, v'ata lo yibatzer mehem kol asher yezru la'asot." Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and now nothing will be restrained from them, that which they have imagined to do. As people who speak a common language, as a united synagogue youth, we can do anything together. Thank you.
Okay, we will now start the balloting. Please turn to your sky blue ballots on your elections packet. Indicate the candidate of your choice, place it in your hand, and raise it in the air from which